podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
Now entering the PNRNetworks arena, coming down the aisle from Revere, Massachusetts, weighing in at absolutely none of your business. It's the Mistress of Mayhem, the Queen of Quips. It's time for Ring Around the Rosie with your hostess, Kim Brown.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another week here on Ring Around the Rosie. I'm Kim Brown, a.k.a. Platinum Rose Lady, a.k.a. your hostess, a.k.a. the twit in front of the mic right now that's talking, and welcoming you again to my show. Here we are on Wednesday, the 24th of July, 2019, and, boy, what's been going on in Massachusetts that I think you would actually care about listening to? It has been hot. It has been crazy, stupid, ridiculous, uncomfortable, major league hot. And we had tornadoes, so yay. Actually, not yay. Tornadoes are scary. They're extremely scary because there's actually a tornado that was, they got it on camera, ripped the roof off of a hotel in Yarmouth. Which is downstate from where I live. I mean, ripped the roof clean off this building. It was fucking insane, y'all. It was just completely the most friggin' insane thing I've ever seen. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. As far as I know, there weren't any reports of injuries or anybody getting killed or anything. Thank goodness. But it's been like crazy, ridiculous, hot and humid and gross. I mean, today it's actually been really nice, so that's yay, but the heat's supposed to come back, boo. And I can't stand it when you watch the weather reports and they're all talking, like the weather people are, oh, it's going to be up to the 90s and 90% humidity, and they all got these big fucking smiles on their faces, and you want to just fucking slap them. It's like, stop looking so happy that it's going to be hotter than hell, please. I'm sorry, I don't do summer well. I don't do spring and summer well at all. I am definitely a fall-winter type of gal. And a lot of people are like, why? Because it's cold. I'm like, yeah, but it's much easier to warm up than it is to cool off, especially when it's humid. You have that humid thing happening where it's, you take a shower and you're cool, and then you get out of the shower and it's like, oh, yuck. And you want to get back in the shower because you're all gross and sweaty again. It's like, that is the worst. But I hope everything is going great wherever you are right now. Obviously, the big, important, huge news that came out earlier today was that All Elite Wrestling has announced when they're going to be debuting on TNT, and that will be in October, on October 2nd, which is a Wednesday. They will be airing a live show. It will be coming from Washington, D.C., and it will be running from 8 to 10 Eastern Time at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., as I mentioned. So obviously this is very exciting news because it means that TNT's gonna have a lot of hot guys on their network in the fall. I mean, they're already running Supernatural, the reruns for Supernatural, which means they've got 3 of the most hot guys on the planet on their show, on their network right now. Now they're gonna be getting some other really handsome people like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy. If you're out there, call me. Oh, he is so hot. It's ridiculous. But I'm really, 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 really excited for All Elite. I am also glad a lot of people were suggesting that they go head to head with the WWE, and I'm like, no, that's a bad idea. I just think it's a terrible idea myself. There's no reason to do that. Just go out there and do it on your own. Now, a lot of people have been saying about AEW, oh, they shouldn't be making all these remarks about the WWE, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you guys didn't have a problem with it when the WWE, F at the time, and WCW were snapping back and forth with each other. That was fine. That was, healthy competition, blah, blah, blah. Now AEW does it and people get pissy. I don't get it. Another thing, just side note, Lacey Evans has apparently decided to get in a Twitter feud with Medusa. I don't think that's smart. I'm just saying, Medusa is legit badass and will stomp a mud hole in your butt and walk it dry. I mean, granted, her doing that to Lacey Evans would probably make me laugh like the Joker, but, that's because... Hello, sadist. Sometimes. Obviously, the other big thing this week was the big Legends reunion show that they had on Raw. And I mean, that was cool. And it's just, I don't know. Oh gosh. I don't know how I feel. I mean, I'm really happy to see some people. I guess the weird, this is probably me being maudlin, and I'm sorry. I sometimes my mind tends to go to darker places or sadder places, I suppose. The whole reunion thing, it makes me sad. It just makes me sad because it makes me realize how many people are gone. I mean, I know that's stupid, and I know some people are like, wow, you're really taking the joy out of the room, Kim. I don't mean to. It's just, I watch that stuff, and I'm like, you saw Hogan and Flair and Austin and all these guys, and I'm thinking, oh, wouldn't it be cool if Piper was still here, or, stuff like that, or the Warrior, or Eddie Guerrero, or, people like that, and I'm just like, fuck, now I made myself depressed. And also, it's just a simple fact that a lot of these people were really big stars at a time when the reins were a lot looser on what people could do, on camera and stuff, because the WWE wasn't answering to stockholders back then. And you could do stuff that, I mean, now I'm kind of like looking back at stuff that they used to do, the Attitude Era stuff, and I'm like, wow. It's like, and I'm not saying that looking on with a more mature eye, because I definitely don't have one of those, but I just I look at some of the stuff that they did back in the day, and I'm like, what? How did they ever get that past, the people at USA, and that kind of a thing? But, I mean, it was fine for what it was, but also, I don't know. It's just when they keep having the legends come in and they're the ones pulling the young guys fat out of the fire, like the whole thing with Seth Rollins at the end of the show. I was like, no. I don't like that. I don't like the way that looked. It wasn't a good look. And it wasn't a good look for Seth Rollins, in my opinion. Obviously, the other thing that they were doing with the shows this week is hyping up SummerSlam, which is coming up in August. I'm sorry, I've been talking all day at work and my tongue is a little bit tangled. So, as of right now, the card for SummerSlam, as of right now, looks like this, and SummerSlam will be on the 11th of August. You have Bray Wyatt, or The Fiend, going against Finn Balor, or The Demon. I'm not sure which. Also, the whole thing with Bray Wyatt's Fiend attacking Mick Foley, fuck that, fuck you, fuck that whole thing. Because Mick Foley is the fucking king of the Japanese death matches, and I will fucking fight you on that, and he always will be to me. Women's champion, Bayley, who is the champion for the SmackDown brand, going against Ember Moon. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited about this because I love Ember Moon. She's amazing. The champion for Raw, women's champion, Becky Lynch, going against Natalya. So that should be interesting. Shane McMahon going against Kevin Owens. If Kevin Owens loses, he will have to leave the WWE. Okay? We couldn't get, if Shane loses, Shane has to be shot out of a cannon straight into a brick wall. That, we don't get that because we don't get to have nice things. WWE champion Kofi Kingston going against Randy Orton. Could we please not have a complete sick fetish fest like we had with Randy Orton against Jeff Hardy? That was all kinds of disturbing. WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. And hopefully Seth will get the title back. Hopefully anyone will get I really wouldn't care if a fucking prairie dog went in there. As long as it pinned Brock Lesnar, I would cheer for a fucking prairie dog right about now. I really fucking would. Not kidding. Also coming up is the All Out pay-per-view, which will be event, I should say, which is going to be on the 31st of August. And we know one of the matches that's going to be part of that is going to be Joey Janela versus Jimmy Havoc versus Darby Allin. So this is going to be a complete, this is going to be fun. fun for some of us who like that sort of thing, which would include me. A little bit of the old ultra-violence never hurt anybody as long as you're the one watching it and not the one involved. Okay. I was thinking a lot about how I was going to talk about this part of my show, because I try and be me on this show and not go into like social issues. And, I don't like to use my show as a platform for, scolding companies for what I think they're doing wrong or things like that. I don't feel like that's my gig. I mean, other people can do that. I'm all about being, wacky, kooky, fun Kim, trying to, or occasionally being serious if someone passes away and trying to give them a tribute, send them off, across the rainbow bridge. Blah. Sorry, like I said, my tongue is really screwed up today. But, giving them tribute if they, pass from this plane of existence. But I have to talk about something right now that has been really taxed 75 more reallys on there, making me uncomfortable. And that is the concept of the double standard. Now, you'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. Say you had two wrestlers that were on your show every week that you watched, and you knew, they were man and wife. They're playing man and wife as, wrestlers. And the man started to verbally abuse his wife. Started to say some really hurtful things and started to demean her on camera, started to bring up things about their personal life and all this stuff like that, and was just basically being an asshole to them in front of the entire friggin' world. Now, if that happened between a man and a woman nowadays, with the world being the way it is, everybody would be having heart failure. You would be having people screaming and yelling that this is not the kind of thing that people need to see nowadays, that, this is setting a terrible example for how men should treat women, and, that this person is a horrible individual and all this stuff like that. Now, what does all this have to do with anything? I know some people are asking that. Why is it that if something like that happened on TV right now, it would be outrage, 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 but when a woman is doing it to a man, we're supposed to view this as comedy? Now, what I mean by all of this and where I'm going with all of this is the whole storyline they're doing with Mike Kanellis and his wife, Maria. The whole fact that Mike has been on this losing streak and Maria has been verbally berating him and just being an absolute bitch and a half to him. And, she's out there talking about how she's pregnant and she's not sure the baby's his and blah, blah, blah and all this stuff. And she's the breadwinner of the family and all this stuff like that. And we're supposed to view this as comedy. To the WWE writers and whoever came up with this, the answer to that is no. This is not funny. This is abuse. And abuse is abuse no matter which gender it is. You can act like, oh, it's really funny if a woman's, got her husband's nuts in a vice and all this stuff like that. No. What you're doing and what you're showing on TV is abuse. It is emotional and mental abuse between a married couple. But the fact that instead of a man abusing his wife, it's the woman abusing her husband, and we're all supposed to think this is funny? It's not funny. It's abuse. And it needs to stop. Now. This is setting a really, really bad example. These people have kids. I mean, they actually have a child already. What's that kid gonna do in a few years when she sees this stuff? I wouldn't let my kids see this stuff. It's offensive. It's really, really offensive to me as a woman and to me as a wrestling fan. And before anybody out there starts being like, oh, well, a woman can't abuse a man. That's crap. Anybody can abuse the other partner in their relationship. And I'm not saying that Mike and Maria are really in an abusive relationship in real life. I am not saying that. But this storyline is offensive. It's tasteless. It's just wrong. And the fact that they're doing it in a way that we as the audience are obviously supposed to view this as funny, it's not. It is not funny. Quit it. Now. I don't care how you end it. Just end it. Because it's just downright awful. People, like I said, people would be howling at the fucking moon if this was the other way around. If Mike was out there verbally beating the crap out of Maria every single week, making her cry or something like that. People would be screaming for them to get, they'd be screaming for Mike to get fired. But because it's a woman, that's supposed to make it funny? It isn't. Abuse is never funny. Not like this. This isn't like, cartoon bonking people with a hammer or Three Stooges eye poke stuff, which is obviously so broad that nobody could take it seriously. These are people hurting each other. Or specifically one part of a relationship hurting the other part of the relationship on worldwide TV. But because it's a woman doing it to a man, that's supposed to be funny. Fuck off. It's not. So, kind of a quick show this week, not my usual stuff, but I mean, that's just been sitting in the back of my mind for the last couple of weeks, and it's really, really, really been bothering me, and it finally just bubbled up to the surface, and I just couldn't fucking take it anymore. So, if you guys think that I'm being too politically correct, which fuck I hope I'm not, because I try to go out of my way not to be politically correct. I'm just me, and I hope I'm not coming off like some social justice warrior, because I'm not even trying to do that. I'm just saying this is bad writing. It's just not cool. If you feel like I'm going overboard over nothing, platinumroselle@yahoo.com and let me know it. I'd love to know what you guys think. So if you'd like to follow the other, if you'd like to actually offer any opinions on anything that I've brought up, platinumroselle@yahoo.com, I'd love to hear it. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at platinumroselle@twitter.com, and, I hope you also take the time to get involved with the other shows that are part of our little island of misfit toys. Those would include Subject Cinema and, Platinum Rose's Garden, which is my supernatural podcast. I'm on hiatus right now because the season's over, but you can go back and listen to last season or the seasons before if you'd like. And there are also other shows that are part of our family, including 3 Minute Weekend and Tuesday Digidex, which are my husband TC's shows where he's talking about new movies and all kinds of cool stuff coming out that he does a lot of research on. Seriously. And there's also Catastrophe, Vortex, and Front Row 5 and 10. And there are other people that are part of our little family, including Eric and Valerie over at Cavebabble, and our buddy Anthony Lamberti on Ampy's Nerd Grotto over on YouTube. If you want to look at my works of fiction, you can check me out over at fanfiction.net and look up Platinum Rose Lady under the author search, and you can find my stuff there. If you like our stuff, you can go to our Patreon and check out all of our stuff that's there and donate and do whatever you want there, because that would be really, really cool. Please like, share, and subscribe to all of our stuff, because we could always use the help. Some of us could use help more than others. That would be me. You totally can't see me, but I'm raising my hand. And so that is going to wrap it up for a real quick show here this week on Ring Around the Rosie. This is Kim Brown signing off for another week, and I'll be back next week, guys. Check you out later. Bye.
You have been listening to Ring Around the Rosie with Kim Brown, a production of PNRNetworks. Keep in touch with all things about the show at http://ringaroundtherosie.net. Ring Around the Rosie intro performed by Eric Lyon. Ring Around the Rosie theme by Digital Juice. Join Kim for a new Ring Around the Rosie every Wednesday. Ring Around the Rosie is copyright 2018 PNR Networks, Boston, Massachusetts, USA.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.